Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Carpe Diem Living, the podcast with your host, myself, Shane Gitmed. And today we have a lovely, lovely woman named Morgan, who's going to tell us about her integrative nutrition health coaching business and her journey and what brought her here. So, Morgan, tell us about you and your business.
Hi, Shane. So I'm an integrative nutrition health coach that specializes in helping women overcome emotional and disordered eating through taking their power back and finding self-love. And so I've been doing that for about a year now. And I'm also a Reiki practitioner as well. And so I'm all about holistic health, holistic healing, going that route and healing kind of from the inside out.
That's wonderful. And I'm sure just like all of our guests, we all understand that it's all from the root, right? It's all about what's truly at the root of all of our issues. Like, what are they? And so I love that you mentioned that. And Reiki, I'm a huge fan of Reiki.
Are you?
Yes, I
love that it's becoming more popular now because I got certified 4.5 years ago, and it was not as popular. And I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Ohio, so it's not very popular in Ohio, but it's getting there now. A lot of massage places are doing it and all of that. So I'm really, really happy that more people are being turned on to this kind of healing.
To energy healing, right? Because I feel like there's a stigma. They're like, energy healing, what's that? And it's I know. And it's kind of you don't even realize there's energy in everything.
Everything is energy. I say this all the time, and it's every emotion that you have, you're either attracting what you want or pushing what you want away. And so obviously your body can get blocked with, if you're having emotional traumas or physical traumas, your energy is getting blocked. So you have to clear that out.
Right. It's so true. Because a lot of people, when they struggle in their life, they're kind of why can't I move forward? Why do I feel like something's always getting in the way? And that's why. Because if your throat chakra is closed, your heart chakra is closed, of course, things aren't going to align correctly, or you're going to notice things are just not lining up. And I feel that's where the curiosity starts, right? People want to research, what can I do? Where am I? Because therapy, yes, it's nice. I've gone to therapy myself, and it helps to some degree, but just anything in holistic practice, we all know this, there's layers, there's different aspects, there's so many different things. It's not just one way.
That's what, it goes right back to the root cause. You want to know why you have these certain limiting beliefs, or why you have this sickness or anxiety or depression. you want to go back and get to that root cause. And when you have Reiki, you can go back and actually heal that.
Right. Yeah. So so your personal journey. So what ultimately led you to saying, hey, I feel called to do, holistic practice and all this, what was the turning point for you?
So I had struggled, ever since I was 11, I struggled with, anorexia and bulimia. And so ever since then, that had been a struggle, as well as depression and anxiety, and also childhood trauma. So a friend told me about Reiki, and I don't know, I'm sure you've seen the movie and read the book, The Secret, right?
Yes.
So that was kind of my turning point. So I read this book and I watched the movie, and then my friend told me about Reiki, and basically in the Secret, they're saying you have control over what comes into your life. And so I kind of started practicing that, and I started using the law of attraction, and I found a lot of relief from my anxiety and depression and eating disorders from getting Reiki done. Because yes, I did go to talk therapy, but I feel that it does help to some degree, because you do have to get that stuff out and have a sounding board. But it also makes you focus a lot on your issues instead of kind of getting off the subject and healing from the inside out. So that's kind of how that started. And then I was just really called to become a health coach. And, you know, as an empath, a lot of people come to you for advice, and, you know, you're kind of the one to turn to, and you love to help people. And so I found myself always giving other people advice, and I always love to be of service. And so that's kind of how I got into, I went through IIN. And also, have you heard of Gabby Bernstein?
That rings a bell, but I don't know too much.
Yeah, she was like a spiritual life coach, and now she's like a best-selling author, and she kind of promoted the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. So once I heard that, she's like my idol. So once I heard that, I was like, there is like, because I used to be a cosmetologist, and so I heard about health coaching, and then I was like, that's for me. That's my life path.
Right. Oh my gosh. And I'm curious. So since you were, you did cosmetology and you help women overcome emotional eating and eating disorders, do you integrate the two? Because obviously feeling good and looking good inside and out, like, I wonder if that's something you kind of like with your clients from your past, did you bring them into, kind of apply it to your current business?
I never did that, but that would have been really awesome. I kind of found, like, when I was doing hair, I mean, I wasn't super fulfilled, but what I found was that I loved talking to my clients more than I like doing their hair. You know what I mean? Because, like, your hairdresser is basically your therapist. And so I love, yeah, for sure. So they don't get enough credit.
Yeah.
So once I realized that, I was like, you know, that's kind of when things changed, and I ended up quitting that job and focusing solely on health coaching.
Got it. Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that's kind of like your therapist, because even when I would get eyelash extensions, right?
Yeah.
Like your first appointment's usually like 2 hours, and then maintenance, it's like an hour and a half, and you just end up spilling your guts because you're just in this room. It's just you two, and you're like, so it always felt like, you know, like a fun, like, girl time session for me.
Yeah. And you know, it's a safe space to, like, open up. They're not going to tell anybody. They don't know, like, your personal, you know, your life.
Right. Oh my gosh. And I saw that you're also a doTERRA wellness advocate, which is amazing. So tell us about essential oils and like I've dabbled with essential oils, but I know I want to, like, apply more to it, especially like for anxiety. I mean, anxiety is common for so many people. So tell us about how you got into that, and what benefits do you love the most from doTERRA?
Ooh. I love talking about this because essential oils seriously changed my life. So kind of, I resonated with you, how you said, like, you were really sick. Pretty much for about a year, I was so stressed out and kind of dealing with a lot of stuff. And so I was constantly sick. I had constant migraines. I was in and out of the hospital, I think 3 or 4 times in 1 year. And I was just sick, you know, sickness after sickness after sickness. And so I got introduced to doTERRA by one of my friends, and I started taking the vitamins and using the essential oils. And what the essential oils do, like, that's what I use. That's what I use for my medicine cabinet. I don't use, you know, like, any Advil or anything like that. Like, if I have a headache, I use, like, peppermint, or, you know, I use, like, lemon in my water for detoxing. And I use grapefruit as, like, so grapefruit is known, it's kind of like the honoring your body oil. And so, so every oil has a vibration, a frequency, and it has emotional and physical benefits. So, so for grapefruit, it actually helps repress the urge to binge eat or emotional eat. And so I use that in my water all the time. And, like, you know, you can ingest them if it's from a reputable source like doTERRA. Right. So I have not been sick in over a year and a half. And I think, obviously, like, I dropped my stress levels, and I had started taking care of myself better, but the essential oils were a major, major turning point in my health. So like I said, I use them for everything. I have a 8-year-old daughter, and she's never taken a medication in her life, and she never gets sick. You know, if, like, she gets a bug bite, we put lavender on it. If, you know, she has a headache, we put on peppermint. And so And I think that contributes to her health a lot because, like I said, she doesn't get sick. And I know that kids that were put on medications at a young age, they're constantly sick, just from what I've seen. So yeah, essential oils are a main, and it's also a major like coping mechanism to use the oils when I'm stressed, like lavender to calm myself down. I had anxiety before I got on the plane today, and I just used frankincense and lavender, and it fixed me immediately.
Wow. Okay. Do you have like a cheat sheet for this? Like, cause I want to take notes right now.
Okay. I am going to send you all my PDFs because I have so much information on oils. Like it's almost kind of overwhelming, but I know like the top 10 essential oils, like the most commonly used ones, I have a PDF for 150 ways to use the oils, and you can use them anywhere from like, I used oregano the other day when I was like cooking. So, I use them for literally everything. And yeah, so I have 2 apps that I use. There's the Essential Life app, and I can't remember the name of the other one. I'll have to send that over to you as well. But like you put in your ailment and it tells you what essential oil will work for it.
Stop. Oh my God.
It's so cool.
Because I
use it all the time.
Oh my God. See, for me, okay, so with doTERRA, like I know plenty of people that are in doTERRA, and I've dabbled with it before, but like, just like how you said, like the app, you just like throw in what you need it for, and then it'll spit out the answer. And I
makes it so easy.
Yeah. See, that's because I'm all about data, and I love like information, like wherever I can get it. But I see now it makes me want to get like the whole kit, like the one that you can hang on the wall. Like I need.
Yes. Yes, you do need that for sure.
That's like basically because like I got I think the home essential kit. Like it's just like the one you can start out with.
The top 10, yeah. But you run out of those so easy.
Right.
But like I started using it for like I use it for my shampoo, toothpaste, mouthwash, like the whole thing. Wow. Like my whole house, you walk into my house, it's doTERRA.
And I'm a big fan of Melaleuca, like with chemical-free products. So I use Melaleuca all the time. Like my son, like everything we use, like you said, like just like your personal care and your cleaning products, like huge. And see, and I think not that there's a stigma, but most people, when they hear essential oils, they're like, oh, you mean the stuff you just put in the diffuser and it makes your house smell good? And
there's so much more to it than that.
Right. And I feel like most people are just stuck on that. Like they don't see the full spectrum value of what doTERRA is. So I feel like that's something that most people can get out of your episode here is like, wow, like doTERRA you can use for cooking, for your drinks, for anxiety. And I didn't know the grapefruit thing. Like I thought that was really cool.
There's an oil for every, so I have this, I went to the convention last year and they had this like big wheel of like emotions and whatever like emotion you were feeling, you looked up and then there was the oil that would help you.
Wow. And so for kids, so you mentioned it for kids, which I think that's wonderful that you've been doing that with your daughter, because with my son, thank goodness he's always been really healthy. He's never really gotten sick. Yeah. And that whole thing, I think he just has an amazing immune system because I give him vitamins. I make sure that he's not deficient, and he's 3. So the only time, and I mean, this is like mom guilt major, but like before, like I really understood and knew everything about holistic stuff when he was teething, like I gave him Tylenol, or when he had an eczema flare up very briefly, it wasn't like a long-term thing at all. I was given a steroid cream, and I was in my head, this is before I knew how to, holistically solve that. So I did that, but I'm just thankful that even though I had to do that in the first like year and a half, from that point though, I never needed to use anything else. Like I don't give anything else. So, but yeah, I'm definitely interested in like understanding and learning how I can use that for him, like in general, just like you said, for other things. Okay, so I have a funny question. So my son's so of course he's a boy, like he has a lot of testosterone and he's wild and he likes to do so many things. Is there anything that you can give them for like, I don't know, like if they, I don't want to say he has like ADHD type tendencies, but he just cannot like sit still. Like he's just very like, I feel not that do you get what I'm saying? Like it to zen out sometimes. Like, what could you do essential oils wise for that?
Okay. So, I know exactly what you're talking about. So, there's this adaptive, it's new, and it's actually been proven to help calm the effects of ADD and ADHD, and it makes you calm and it smells amazing. I use that for myself, and one of my good friends, she gives it to her daughter for her ADD, and she said that it helped, and her daughter's in 3rd grade going into 4th grade, and she was like, oh my gosh, this helps me so much. Like, the fact that her daughter can tell a difference, like that is major. So I use that on a regular basis. Adaptive is probably, if I had to pick one essential oil, that would be my one.
Wow. And how would you give it to them? Do you just put in the diffuser, or do you put it in like in a juice, or how would you administer?
So for the adaptive, the like oil that comes in the bottle, you don't ingest that one, but you can put it on the bottoms of their feet. You can put it on their body. Like, you could give a little body massage and put it in the diffuser. That would be the best thing for that. And then when they're older, they have adaptive soft gels. And so they say like kids shouldn't ingest until I think they're 11. They shouldn't ingest the oils, but they have kids vitamins, and, you know, you can use them topically, and that, and it works amazingly.
Wow. Yeah, because right now, okay, so obviously with COVID, everything is virtual. And my biggest struggle is, so he has a virtual preschool program where, you know, they're on Zoom, just like you and I are right now. And I think it's so funny because I never imagined children this young to have Zoom meetings.
I know.
So weird. Like, is your daughter—
Hold on, Mom, I got a Zoom meeting.
Yeah. I'm just like, what the heck? School now, and trying to get him to even sit for like a straight 10-minute period is like, I can't even, like, it's either he wants a snack or he wants juice. Like, it's just, he can't just sit and focus. So I'm like, so of course I'm very patient with him. I do my best. Some days you're like, man, if you can.
Well, that adaptive is going to help you too.
I want to seriously
keep me sane. Yeah, I feel like as moms, like doing the whole teacher thing right now, we get a lot more kickback than the teachers do, because like, they're like, oh, I'm at home. Like, I can be my wild, crazy self and whatever. So like we see it a lot more.
Yes. Because like, they're not in a classroom where there's no distractions. When they're home, yes, it's like play mode.
Well, and they're not getting their energy out as much as they would be at school and interacting with kids. You know, it's like, it's kind of the same stimulation that they're having every single day, when at school they're, you know, they have all sorts of different stuff going on in it, you know, it wears them out.
Right. So that's why I'm just like, okay, like luckily this is like our first week. So I'm like, okay, we'll figure it out as we go. But I'm just like, we got to do something different here. Like,
it's you guys' first week
of virtual preschool. Yeah.
Wow.
What is it, to day 4? And this was the first day he actually like sat in front of the laptop without being on my lap. But even within 10 minutes, he was over it. Like, he wanted to get his tablet. He wanted to boys. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Like, okay, how do we navigate through this for the next however long?
Oh my gosh. And I'm assuming is your daughter doing online classes too through school?
She's actually, she did for the last, like when COVID started in March. And honestly, it was the hardest thing in the entire world, because they give, you know, work like you're in school. So it took 5 hours a day to get her schoolwork done. And like, she would cry, she would be really upset. And then I would cry and be really upset, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this is so hard. So this year she's going to a private school. Luckily, well, they told us that they only have 12 kids in each class, so they'll still do it in person, but I'm thinking that might change. But we haven't heard anything, but they start at the end of August. So we still have some time to figure it out, but I honestly don't think that I can do the whole teacher thing again.
Right. Especially like, you know, you're trying to be a teacher, you're a single mom. I'm a single mom. So I completely understand. Like
we got to run our own businesses too.
Right. How in the world? Like, thank God I can even do this interview with you right now.
I know. We're super women. We got it.
Oh my God. Absolutely. And it's funny because when people hear like, you know, all the things single moms have to do, they're just kind of like, how do you do it? And you're like,
and we just do it. Like, it's like, we don't know anything different.
Yeah. We don't have a choice. It's like, if we don't do it, nothing happens. Like, it's just, you have to go for it.
Yeah.
My gosh. So I wish you the best of luck. At least you have a lot of tools that will help you, you know, the homeschooling, and at least you have experience earlier in the spring. Thank God.
Definitely.
Yeah. So one thing I noticed too that you mentioned is, so you actively self-study quantum physics and the law of attraction. So I've always been really intrigued with law of attraction. Can you tell us a little bit more about the things you've learned about that?
I am obsessed with quantum physics. Like, have you heard of Joe Dispenza?
That name sounds it rings a bell, but I don't know enough. Tell us more.
So I've done a lot of his workshops, and it's about quantum physics, the law of attraction. Basically, you create your own reality. So, what does he say? Like, think, be, have, or something. I don't know. But basically, it's like everything that you think about, if you have a emotion behind it, like a positive or a negative emotion behind it, you're going to be bringing that into your reality. So say like, I feel like I'm really good at manifesting money. And so
I got really good at that this year. That was like my biggest.
Right?
It's weird because I've been told manifesting money, like money has always come easy to me, but it wasn't until this year where like it was a huge breakthrough. And especially being a single mom, it's like a different where it's like, of course you want to be like able to do everything, right? So money's huge. Yeah,
exactly. And so like, what I learned from that was like, you not only like, I was doing affirmations all the time and I was like, nothing's happening, like what the heck. And then I realized from his stuff, like you have to have an emotion behind the affirmation. So it's like, I did a couple of posts about this the other day. It's like saying, money comes to me easily. And then like you have this excited emotion behind it and you actually like envision yourself getting a check, or, you know, you envision yourself, getting a new client or something like that. That's when, it like amps it up and it comes to you. So like just saying it isn't enough. You truly have to like make yourself believe it.
Got it. And, you know, I've learned a good chunk about this through my own business coach and life coach. And we've done things where it's called like your morning activation, where you are envisioning yourself. Like, what do you look like in that moment? What are you wearing? What are you doing? And honestly, like to some people, they're like, what the heck? Really? Like, how are you going to, but honestly, but
if only they knew.
Yeah.
Like try it one time and you'll never knock it again.
Right. And so that's why, like, ever since I started the coaching program through Danny Kenny, that's who my business and life coach is. It truly was like life changing. Like I was just like, oh my gosh, like I learned about EFT tapping and, you know,
I love EFT.
Yes. And like breakthrough sessions, like I can't even, oh my gosh, like I can't give it enough kudos. And like, there's people in my life that are like, oh my gosh, like, what did you do? Like, how are all these things just coming to you? Like, I've had people tell me, they're like, I never see you like trying so hard to like get clients or to make things happen. It just happens for you.
You don't have to try.
No,
you don't have to try when you're aligned. When you're aligned and you basically like the harder you try, this is what I learned from Abraham Hicks, which is also a quantum physics kind of thing. The harder you try, the more resistance you're creating. So when you could literally be unattached to an outcome, then that's when things start coming in, because then you're going with the flow. You're not creating this desperation or any of this resistance. So then like you're like, oh, like life is super easy. Good things come to me easily, blah, 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 blah. And you say and do all that. And that's when it starts coming. It's like you don't do it out of desperation. You don't do it out of any of the negative emotions. You're doing it because it feels good.
Right. And that's kind of like what led me through this rabbit hole of this podcast. I was like, this feels good. I know I'm going to meet amazing people through this whole experience. And I figured, and it's just like when you feel that tugging and that calling, it's like you just have to go and do it. Just like you felt like when you're in cosmetology work and you're like, this is not, it doesn't feel like I'm complete right now. Like there's more work you're supposed to be doing where it feels good. So I feel like it's so great when people are so in tune with themselves and can really just like make those changes without, you know, the hesitation. They're just like, oh, I'm going to do it and let's see what happens.
Yeah. You truly have to like trust yourself. And I always say this in my health coaching, like we don't give ourselves enough credit. We always look to outside sources to tell us what we should be doing with our minds, our bodies, like, you know, even our diets. And it's like, we forgot to trust ourselves. And like, we have that gut feeling for a reason. So it's like, if your gut's telling you to move towards something or like a career or whatever it is, there's a reason that you have that gut. It's because we're intuitive beings. And, you know, that's kind of the whole point.
Right. And, you know, they say in holistic medicine, your gut is like your second brain.
Yes.
So it's like, if you don't really apply that, it's like, I don't know if you're going to find what you're looking for.
Sure. Yeah. And we're all like, we're constantly like, go, go, go. In this society now, we are constantly like, we're overexerting ourselves, where everything's super fast paced. And so we forget to like sit back and like check in with ourselves. And I'm like, okay, like, what do I need right now? What do I want right now? What are my feelings right now? And that's a lot of the reason why people tend to emotionally eat, because they're not listening to their body. They're looking for a quick, instant gratification. And so like they're reaching for food, but like if they just like stood still for a second and asked, why am I going to the refrigerator? Why do I feel this way? Why do I, you know, hand and mouth fixation? Why? Going back to the root cause, getting to the root cause of it. If we just slowed down and gave ourselves a chance and trusted ourselves, then, yeah.
And you know, it's funny. I was just thinking about this. Like, a lot of people assume that only women emotional eat, and that's not true.
Oh no.
Emotional eating goes for
everybody.
Genders. Yeah. I've seen it time and time again. And I'm just kind of like, I remember I was talking to another guest about this, and I want your intake on, or your input on this is, so you know how in movies when like a girl's going through a breakup and like one of the first things they show is like her eating like a whole tub of ice cream.
Yes.
Cake, like, do you think that type of, you know, I guess like social conditioning, do you think that has anything to do with why like we do emotionally? Because we think it's kind of like acceptable. It's the norm.
I think that it's definitely, it promotes it, whether they think it does or it doesn't. Like when you, like you said, this girl's eating this tub of ice cream after a breakup, like you see that on TV and then you go through a breakup and then you're like, you know, you're sitting there doing it. But it's like, people emotionally eat when they're tired, when they're,
anxious,
when they're stressed at work, when they're anxious, when they're bored. Like there's so many emotions. So like, it's not just after like some big event, you know what I mean? It's like, it's an everyday occurrence from the things that you're not dealing with. But yeah, I definitely think that, that it's normalized it.
Yeah. Cause I don't know. It just hit me the other day and I was like, I feel like if we didn't like show that type of stuff as often as we did, people wouldn't, I don't know. Like, I just feel like there has to be some correlation.
No, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. And I love that you mentioned that you're an empath, because I definitely identify as an empath myself. And
I can tell. Like you and I clicked so easy.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Like it was like no brainer. And it's funny because I think it was last year when I was really owning, you know, this identity of mine with the holistic, you know, mindset, holistic lifestyle. And I identified myself as an anxious empath. Like I actually was starting to like, to really dive into all of that stuff. Cause I was just like, you know what? Like I feel like part of the holistic journey too is just like owning your gifts and owning, you know, and I feel like, I don't know. I don't know if it has to do with like Saturn return as well in your life, but I know for the longest time I was trying to figure out like who I was. And are you into human design by any chance?
Oh my gosh, I have heard so much about human design lately, and I tried to take a test on it the other day, but I didn't know what time I was born. But I've heard so many good things, and so I need to figure that out. What was your experience with that?
Oh my gosh, human design is like a whole, it like literally just how you discovered everything holistic wise, this is going to broaden your mind like even more. You're going to be mind blown. So for me,
I'm so excited.
Yeah, just like the Briggs-Myers personality quiz, which I'm sure you did that too.
I've done that, yep.
Yeah. With that, I was like, okay, I understand my personality. I know what my Enneagram is, but I was like, human design will literally explain like your hardwiring, right? Like just like who you really were born to be, essentially. So so when I did mine, of course, I found out my parents, place and time of birth, and my son, and I just started doing everyone's because I wanted to see their chart. Like, I'm just,
oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, part of my my design is I'm an investigator, so I love.
Nice.
I want to find out things, and so with mine, it's like as if the person. So I've had 2 readings, one by someone who's like a friend in business, and another woman that's in it's a human design women's group for manifestors. So I'm actually, my type is a manifester, which
awesome.
Are you kidding me? Like
that's like the best type. Then you can get anything you want.
Right. I was like, who knew, So when we figured this out and they're explaining to me kind of like literally from A to Z on who I was like, dang, this is really true. Like, there's no way that there isn't truth to this, because these people don't know me on that level. And just by looking at my chart and the different gates, because there's so much to this human design stuff, which I know you would love it if you dive.
Oh, I would.
Oh my God. It's like they saw me like I was looking in a mirror. I was like, holy crap! Like, they know me. Like, they really understand me. And
then you understand yourself way better, and you're able to, kind of kick limiting beliefs and habits that you probably didn't even realize.
Right.
And it makes it easier.
Exactly. So it's almost kind of like a secret handbook to yourself. Like, that's how I felt.
I love how you just described that.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh, okay, here's the cheat codes, and like, why let myself get frustrated when the answers are right here. And and what's really cool is that the first reading I had was human design, understanding your type, and how to apply it to your business. So that's where it hooked me.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah. So I got to send you like the information on that, because it really, and honestly, when I applied what I learned from this, it changed how everything flowed. It changed, the manifestation behind it, like the clients that were coming in, the money that was coming in. I was like, holy cow, like, this is bizarre. So, human design, I highly, highly recommend. In no way is it meant to be like, oh, I know my whole destiny. Of course not. Like, make decisions that can change the timeline. It could change. But I think if, once again, understanding the roots, there's so many possibilities. And in a sense, it's kind of like you'll make like less mistakes, because you're like, oh, okay, like, I know I should.
You're aware.
Yeah. It's kind of like how you said with, like, if you're forcing something and it's not working, you're going to get more resistance. That's also kind of what human design shows you, is like, you're not going to get the results you're looking for if you're not following your design. It's like that. So, oh my gosh. Yeah, I definitely, I want my business.
I need to go get my birth certificate. I need to go find that, because I need to do this ASAP.
No, truly. Yeah. And then you can even do your daughters. And there's a woman on Instagram. I cannot remember her name at the moment, but I'll send that to you too. It's, so when you find out obviously your type and then your child's type, because most likely you're not the same, right? Most likely your design is different. This woman posts like tips and tricks on how to parent your child based on their design.
Yes, I love that. I've heard that that it's like a major turning point in like your parenting for your child, because I'm a Leo, my daughter's a Taurus, and so like sometimes we and she's highly sensitive. Yes, I'm sensitive, but like she is way more sensitive, so like her feelings get hurt super easy, and so like sometimes I have to like put myself in her shoes and be like, okay, like this is how I need to talk to her, whatever. And so like I would love to do that.
Yes. Because I was just like, man, if only like my parents had this when I was little, because what I'm noticing too is because manifestors, so I have a feeling you're a manifestor too. There has to, like, there's no way.
I honestly kind of thought that when I was looking at like all of the human design things the other day.
It's like, it was like cool to be like, hey, this is you. But like, so manifestors there's only 9% of us in the whole population.
Seriously?
Yeah. So that's how different we are from the masses. So it starts with like 75% is like the generators, which is like a common human design. And then you have your projectors. My son is a projector. So the cheat sheet for me was like learning, how to talk to him, how to approach him where he feels like appreciated and heard. Like, there's so many, it's just kind of like with love languages, right? Like,
I was just going to say that.
Yeah. It's like, if you love someone, yes, but if you're not following their, oh my gosh, I just had in my mind, if you're not following their love language, they don't feel loved, because that's not the way. So it's kind of, that's how I view human design, is like, you can try to be the best parent, but if it's not getting to them in the way that they understand, you're going to be confused, and it's not going to, you're going to clash. So there's human design. Again, it's bigger than your personality type through Briggs-Myers. It's bigger than Enneagram. It's truly like the root. And I think it's truly the root that people need to hear. But yeah, so the parenting, and then, so after projectors, there's reflectors, and then there's manifestors.
I think my daughter's a reflector for sure.
Yeah. Like, and they give you the explanations, and I'll send you where you can put in the data, and then how you can look at the body charts. But yeah, now that I feel like now that I have like the cheat sheet, things have gone a lot smoother as far as like, and you know, my son's a toddler, so it's even harder, like trying to get them to understand where you're coming from. And, I mean, but
it's amazing that you're doing that now. It's going to make both of you guys' lives so much easier down the road.
Right. Yeah. Like, I had my mentor in human design, because I just had a reading with her the other day, and I have another one with her next week. And she was looking at, the charts, and she was like, man, when he gets to become a teenager, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge because of, you know, how he's built. And I'm like, okay, at least I have the tools, so I won't be as frustrated, and I won't.
Definitely.
So yeah, I highly recommend to everyone, especially if they have children, like, save yourself the headache and, you know, the turmoil. It's just not, you don't have to do it. Like, you don't have to do it. Yeah.
No, that's so true.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I was just thinking too, like, I'm a Capricorn, and my son is, oh my gosh, what the heck? He's he's in June 23rd. He's a Cancer. And so we both are emotional. So it's funny, like, if I'm emotional, he's instantly emotional. Like, he kind of off of me in that way.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like, man, in a sense, I'm just like, I wish one of us was not, so we're not both crying together.
Totally.
But oh my gosh. So I just loved our conversation. I feel like I learned especially so much about doTERRA. Like, I didn't even think it was like that huge of like what you could use it for. But yeah, tell us where our listeners can find you online and how they can connect with you.
So my Instagram handle is 2TO _well_with_it. And my name is Morgan Danielle on Instagram and on Facebook. And then my website is towellwithit.com.
Perfect.
So yeah, that's how you guys can find me.
Awesome. And just like all of the rest of our guests, they're going to be in the Podcast Insiders group. So if you want to work with Morgan directly, you can find her in there. And, you know, she has so much knowledge. So I would definitely recommend that you connect with her directly or in the group, however you want to do it. But oh my gosh, thank you so much. I feel like we're like old friends or something. Like, it was
we're going to FaceTime on a regular basis. you and I are going to become best friends. This was a great
please.
conversation.
Oh my gosh. I mean, Lord knows, especially during COVID, I'm like dying for like communication.
Me too.
And where are you at in the country? Are you in Ohio? I think you mentioned that earlier.
Yes, I live in Ohio.
Got it. Okay. So you're not too, time frame wise, it's not too hard. I'm in Pacific. So yeah, you're only like an hour ahead or 2 hours ahead.
That's a good question.